Greetings, ladies and gentlemen. Today is November 3rd. The Dodgers are back-to-back World Series champions. Let's talk about it. Hello, everybody. My name is Steven. This is the middle of the order. How are we doing today, ladies and gentlemen? The 2025 season has officially come to an end. The Dodgers beat the Blue Jays in a crazy World Series. Going back to last episode, still a little bit under the weather, so bear with me in today's episode. Thankfully, it won't be too long because we just have 2 games to go over and a little bit of other news there. But that all being said, I do want to talk about, obviously, the World Series. So let's dive in and start with Game 6, because how did we get to Game 7? We had to go through Game 6 first and foremost. Big news entering the day was that Springer was in the lineup. Of course, missed the last couple of games, dealing with an oblique injury, but apparently is good to go. You can clearly see in his bats that he was playing through a lot of pain, as were many Blue Jays, to be fair. Bo Bichette, same deal for him. The Dodgers get a rally going in the third. Will Smith drives in the first run of the game, an RBI double from him. Later, with the bases loaded, Mookie Betts finally comes through. It's a 2-run single to put the Dodgers up 3. Bottom of the third, the Jays get one back with their bruised-up star, George Springer. He's in the lineup again. He is coming through. An RBI single brings it to 3-1. This was the only inning, really, with any kind of big offense in the first couple of innings in this one. Gausman and Yamamoto, once again, were really good outside of that third inning. Gausman struck out 8, allowed 3 hits, 3 earned runs, all of which were in that third inning. So take away that inning, Gausman was near perfect. Jays got Yamamoto's pitch count very high, so he is only able to get through 6 innings, 5 hits, an earned run, and 6 Ks. He was up to 90-plus pitches. So this game happened. A couple chances missed out on throughout the game here, but we enter the bottom of the ninth. Sasaki came on in the 8th to start it, has some command issues, comes out for the 9th again, still with that same command issue. Kirk leads off, gets hit by a pitch, and the following ball that Addison Barger hits is so hard that it somehow gets lodged into the wall in left center, something I've never seen happen at the Rogers Center before, and I go to plenty of games. Both runners end up scoring to tie it up, but Justin Dean, the center fielder that came in for a defensive replacement, he puts his hands in the air, does not play the ball at all. Umpires go to review it, get the rules check, and the runners are told to head back to second and third. So a big controversial call. Was it the right call? Was it not? At first, I thought it was incorrect because that's BS. Because the wall, there's no way the ball got that stuck because the Rogers Center walls don't allow that to happen, unlike other American ballparks. And then I saw MLB Network the next day, and it was Mark DeRosa showing everyone, exactly how the ball was and everything, and it was stuck. It was stuck in the wall there. Could Dean have played it and got it in? Yes. It would have been an RBI double if he had just done that to begin with. Instead, Barger kept running. He comes in to score as well. But they both go to third and second, but it's still runners at third and second, tying run at second base in scoring position, and 0 outs. Dave Roberts says that's enough from Sasaki. Goes to Tyler Glasnow, who looked like he was going to be the Game 7 starter if the Dodgers were able to hold on to the victory. But he comes in to get the save in Game 6, and he did so on 3 pitches. A 1-pitch pop out to first base, and then a ball driven to left field. Kike catches it, who then said he didn't even know where the ball was until the last minute. And then he throws it to the second, and Barger gets doubled off, and that's the ball game. The Dodgers hold on. The Jays had the tying run at second base with no outs and cannot score. So it's a 3-1 Dodgers win. We head to Game 7. Game 7 of the World Series is everything that you could really dream of. When you think about it, it's everything that that you want out of a baseball game and out of a series, is for the game to go to 7. So it's exactly what happens here. Dodgers, Blue Jays, Game 7. Who would take it all? November baseball. It's November 1st now. So, we got baseball in November. Love to see that. The last Game 7 that we had was back in 2019. This was between the Astros and the Nationals. Max Scherzer was pitching for the Nationals in that game. George Springer was leading off the game for the Astros. Now, both of them are on the Blue Jays. Springer leading off for the Jays, and Scherzer, once again, the starter for Game 7. How about that, Max Scherzer? He's the oldest player in history to start a Game 7 game, and the third oldest ever to play in a Game 7 game. So pretty cool there. The Dodgers go with Shohei Ohtani, 3 days rest. That would get... he gets a start for the Dodgers, and Ohtani's fatigue showed up pretty early in between innings as he was hitting and pitching. He was given extra time to, collect himself, get out to the mound, unlike the usual 2-minute frame that they get. So Blue Jays fans and Blue Jays manager, John Schneider, was not happy with that. He was getting less warm-up pitches. Maybe that had something to play part into it. Either way, the hammer drops in the third. 2 on. Bichette gets his homer, his first ever postseason home run, and what could be his last game as a Toronto Blue Jay. He hits a 3-run homer to open the scoring up, and that would end Shohei's night as a pitcher as well. A big, big homer. The Dodgers get one back in the 4th. Teoscar, a sac fly. This game, man, and even this series, they had it all. Justin Roblowski throws 2 up and in pitches near Andres Jimenez. The third one actually hits him, and that starts a bench clearing. Yeah, that's right. Game 7, the last game of 2025, and we've got the benches being cleared. What a series, what a game. A little pushing some shoving a little bit. Had 2 of them break out. But, ends up being nothing sandwich because it's Game 7 of the World Series. Bigger fish to fry. Dodgers, they get another sac fly from Tommy Edman in the 6th. It's a 1-run game, but in the bottom 6, Jimenez was trying to bunt Ernie from first base over to second. Ends up not getting the bunt down. Ernie ends up stealing second anyways, and then Jimenez laces a ball into the gap. That scores Ernie, and the Jays take a 4-2 lead after 6. They're 9 outs away. Louis Varland comes into the game. He sets MLB history for games pitched in a single postseason game. He had 15 games played for the Toronto Blue Jays. Pretty crazy stuff there. How about Ernie Clement with his MLB record? He sets a record for the most singles in a single postseason. Alongside, he would tie Randy Arozarena for the most hits in a single postseason at 29. Of course, Randy in 2020 with the Rays did that there. And then later in the game, he would break the record, his 30th hit of the postseason. What a month for Ernie Clement. In the 8th inning, Max Muncy gets a hanging splitter from Savage. That's right, Trey Savage was in this game. He hits it out for a solo shot. It's a 1-run game, but we're going to the 9th. The Jays are 3 outs away from a 3rd World Series. Then it's 2 outs away, and it's Miguel Rojas coming up to bat. They would need to face Ohtani once more anyways. And out of all the damn players, it's Miguel Rojas, a game-tying home run. The Jays were 2 outs away, but we are tied. Yamamoto, he pitched yesterday. He's into the game today with 0-day rest after throwing 90-plus pitches. The Blue Jays, the bases are loaded. There's 2 outs. A hit wins the World Series. Ernie hits one high, deep to left field. Kike and Pages both running back. They both jump. They bump into each other. Kike ends up in the wall, and Pages makes the catch. Are you kidding me? We're going to extras in Game 7 of the World Series. How do you like that? In the 11th, Will Smith, he hits a home run. The Dodgers are up 1. They're 3 outs away from back-to-back World Series. Vlad, in the bottom of the 11th, leads it off. He gets a double. IKF, a beautiful bunt, gets him to third with 1 out as the tying run. 4-pitch walk to Addison Barger and upsets Alejandro Kirk. He hits a ball on the ground. Broken bat. Mookie gets it, steps on the bag at second, throws the ball to first, and the Dodgers are World Series champions in back-to-back seasons for the first time since the Yankees won 3 straight from 98 to 2000. How about Yoshinobu Yamamoto and his gutsy pitching? Gets himself the win in both games 6 and 7. He is your World Series MVP. It's obvious what a job Yamamoto did. And that is Game 7. The Dodgers win it. Blue Jays lose it. It's hard to talk about, to be honest with you. As a lifelong Jays fan, getting this opportunity was everything and more. And coming up short really sucked, when you had all these opportunities to score, to walk it off, to just to hold it in the ninth inning even. But it was a great year, and you win as a team, you lose as a team. That was kind of the big thing with these Blue Jays. Was it felt like it was the strongest team that chemistry you could have, and yeah, in the end, the Dodgers. I mean, you've had people coming out saying, "Oh, the Blue Jays were the better team," and I agree. I think in this series, if you were to play it back another 7, I think the Jays do win it. I think the Blue Jays overall had more players step up. The Dodgers had some players step down. Mookie Betts. If Mookie Betts was Mookie Betts, and if Freeman was Freeman, and if Ohtani, despite a pretty impressive Game 3. Take that game away from him. Ohtani wasn't that sharp at all this series. Those factors play a role into it and into what this series was. But, Will Smith had a great series, hits the game-winning home run, essentially. And how about Miguel Rojas? The Dodgers pitching was great. So, again, a great team. It's a team that, going back to February to March, we all said, hey, Dodgers, they're a super team. They're going to win the World Series. That's what everyone thought. That's what a lot of people hoped wouldn't happen. And here we are months later talking about that said Dodgers team winning the World Series. It's what people thought. It's what we got. And like it or not, that's just the way baseball plays out. The Blue Jays will add a team into the histories of, the greatest teams to not win a World Series. I think the Blue Jays will look pretty different entering next year. Still a good team, still could compete, but you had contributors from Ernie Clement, who had the postseason of all time. Vladimir Guerrero Jr. with an outstanding postseason, 8 homers for him. How about Nathan Lucas? Had some clutch hits. Andres Jimenez, overall, his numbers weren't great, but he had some very clutch hits. Bo Bichette, who knows if he stays, if he goes, that big 3-run home run, if that was the last thing he ever did as a Blue Jay, what a moment for him. If Bo was healthy, if Springer was fully healthy, who knows what that means for the Blue Jays. It's the baseball, it's the baseball game where, so many ifs, ands, or buts afterwards when you look back at the season and said, well, if this happened, then who knows how this would have happened. And if this happens, who knows if this happens, and blah, 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 and blah, blah, blah. It's the name of baseball, and every team does it. I mean, you can go back to the Yankees. If they had one game where they won, go back to that first game after the trade deadline where they acquire Jake Bird and Camilo Duvall and David Bednar and all these guys, and all 3 of them give up runs against the Marlins, and they lose in extras, like 12-11. Think about if one of those relievers just puts up a 0, the Yankees win. They win the AL East. The Blue Jays have to play the wild card round, and maybe they lose to Boston. And the Jays end up in a wild card series where they lose once again, and, it's the Yankees and Red Sox competing in the ALDS, and then we have a Red Sox-Dodgers rematch or a Yankees-Dodgers rematch. Like, it's baseball's ifs, ands, or buts. It happens every year. And it's just a really good year for the Blue Jays. An even better one for the Dodgers. Back-to-back World Series titles. How about Kike stepping up? Playoff hero for sure. Miggy Rojas. Again, that home run, you cannot stress what that home run means for the Dodgers. They're having their parade. right about now, probably as I'm talking or about to start talking or about to start, because you have to think about the time difference between Eastern and Pacific. But I mean, a great year. And that brings us to, honestly, 2025 as a whole. How about the year that we had? Another year in the books. You know, the third year of this podcast. I can't believe it's already been 3 years. Not officially 3 years, of course, because we still have to do the offseason stuff and do all that. But, you know, here we are in episode 263. Excuse me. And I've just been talking baseball. And it's been really fun. So many great moments from this year. All 30 teams, you know, coming up, the trade deadline stuff. You know, the All-Stars, the unsung heroes of this season, a great postseason. Everything was great. I mean, this World Series as a whole between the Blue Jays and Dodgers, I think it's the best World Series we've had since maybe 2016, 2017. I mean, those are the 2 years that I remember really well. The Guardians, or I guess Indians at the time, and the Cubs, and then the Astros, Dodgers in 2017. Those two World Series, super memorable. You know, I remember Game 5 of the 2017 World Series like the back of my head. Like, that game is one of my favorite games of all time. You know, you think back to 2018, Dodgers, Red Sox, 2019, Astros, Nats, Rays, Dodgers. Like, there's been some good, memorable World Series. That's the whole point. You want a good, memorable World Series. But this series had everything, man. You had a Game 1 blowout with Barger hitting the first pinch hit World Series Grand Slam. You had a complete game, which I got to go to, mind you. I forgot that I even went to a World Series game. Like, what a cool moment for me in my lifetime. Even if I didn't see my team win, I mean, to see a complete game in the World Series is still pretty historic when you think about it. You get Game 3, an 18-inning thriller. You get a Game 4 where, you know, you got Vlad homering off of Ohtani, and you got this big back and forth kind of until the 6th inning. Game 5, same thing, back-to-back homers to start a game 3 pitches in. Like, how incredible that is. You got a Game 6 controversial wall play at the end of the season, at the end of the game there. And then you get a Game 7 back-and-forth thriller where both teams end up being outs away from a World Series. One team loses it, one team wins it. And you get extra innings, 2 extra inning games. You got a bench clearing. Like, it really was a fantastic World Series. Both teams have nothing, you know, hang your heads held high because it has been a fantastic season, a fantastic World Series, fantastic year as a whole. So many great memories, a great year. And I'm very excited to continue on to have another off season of lots of fun and seeing where teams will sign, which players will sign with what. You know, hopefully Bo re-signs, but, you know, it's biased Blue Jay talk there. And we got the World Baseball Classic coming up next year, so that's a very exciting thing to talk about as well. So a lot of positives, you know, a lot of positives. That's the big takeaways there. And yeah, really, really grateful for 2025. Really grateful for all of you guys who are listening in and have been here for, you know, whether this is the first episode you're listening to or if you've been here since the start. Appreciate you all. And yeah, it's just a great 2025 as a whole. So yeah, really, really happy there. Last thing to mention, I guess, in today's episode, you know, a little bit shorter, not as many games, not as many stuff to talk about. The Gold Glove winners were announced yesterday, so we'll go through those really quickly. In the AL, catcher Dylan Dingler wins it for the Tigers. For first base, Ty France wins it as a Blue Jay/Twin. Second baseman, Marcus Semien from the Rangers. Shortstop, Bobby Witt Jr. from the Royals. Third baseman, Maikel Garcia from the Royals. Left fielder, Stephen Kwan from the Guardians. Center fielder, Cedane Rafaela from the Red Sox. Right fielder, Wilyer Abreu from the Red Sox. Utility man, Mauricio Dubon from the Astros. And then pitcher, Max Fried from the Yankees. On the NL side of things, catcher, winner Patrick Bailey from the Giants. First baseman, Matt Olson from the Braves. Second baseman, Nico Horner from the Cubs. Shortstop, Mason Wynn from the Cardinals. Third baseman, Ke'Bryan Hayes from the Pirates/Reds. Left fielder, Ian Happ from the Cubs. center fielder Pete Crow Armstrong from the Cubs, right fielder Fernando Tatis Jr. from the Padres, utility man Javier Senhoa from the Marlins, and then pitcher Logan Webb from the Giants. Those are your Gold Glove winners. And that is the episode. That is the year. That is everything that we've had to say the whole time here. Episodes will kind of remain consistent as I usually have been doing it. Friday, expect an episode, I would say, unless, granted something happens. I have to take a look again at the free agent of the offseason schedule MLB has, just to see everything. Obviously, we're going to do a list of all the major free agents and my predictions for some of those teams, where some of them could end up, possible trade candidates, all this stuff. There's a whole offseason ahead of us, full of players changing teams and things happening, and obviously Silver Sluggers and MVPs and all the other awards to be given out, the Hall of Fame stuff. So still a lot to happen between now and first pitch of 2026. That's the next baseball game that we have to wait for. The offseason is here, and baseball is over. This episode's over. Ladies and gentlemen, I love you all. I appreciate you all. Thank you, buddy, so much. And I will see you next time.